I was 24 when it all started. Married young, 2 little kids at home, and pulling long hours as a shift leader at Taco Bell. My life was loud but predictable. Diapers and cartoons at home, beeping fryers and late-night drunks at work. I thought I had a rhythm, a balance, something resembling control. But then he showed up. At first, he was nothing more than a face in the crowd. A guy in his mid to late 20s, maybe 30, always coming in alone. He had this energy about him, too much eye contact, a smile that felt like it was stretching just a little too far. You know how most customers order, grab their food and go. Not him. He lingered, always polite, overly polite, always friendly, too friendly. At first I didn't think much of it. I'd worked fast food long enough to know some people just didn't have boundaries, but it became impossible to ignore. He was there every single shift I worked. It didn't matter if I opened, if I closed, or if I pulled some random mid-shift. He was there, always alone, always smiling, always waiting for me to ring him up, even if the other registers were open. The realization hit me slowly, like cold water dripping down the back of my neck. He wasn't just a regular customer. He was watching me. I told my husband about it, of course. He brushed it off at first. Creeps exist, he said, but he probably just has a crush. You're safe. He doesn't know where we live. That reassurance got me through a few more weeks. But deep down, I felt something was wrong. Something about him was hollow. One night, near closing, I was counting registers when I heard the dining room door creak open. We had locked it 30 minutes earlier. My stomach dropped. I looked up. He was inside. He didn't walk to the counter. He just stood in the middle of the empty dining room, head cocked slightly, smiling at me. His eyes didn't blink. I froze. "Sir, we're closed." My voice came out sharper than I meant it to. He didn't move. The air felt thick, like I had to push the words through syrup. Finally, after what felt like forever, he muttered, "I just wanted to see you." Then he turned and left, the door clicking shut behind him. I didn't sleep that night. The breaking point came when I walked in one afternoon and saw him behind the counter. One of the assistant managers was training him, handing him a headset, showing him how to work the register. My body went cold. I didn't even clock in. I went straight to the office, heart pounding, and demanded to see the store manager. I spilled everything, how he'd been in every one of my shifts, how he watched me, how he had stood in the dining room after closing. Her face went pale. She hadn't known it was him. She'd heard some guy kept coming in, but never connected the dots. She was horrified. Right there, in front of me. She picked up the phone and called the nearest store. She arranged to have him transferred immediately. "He'll work here today," she said, "but tomorrow he starts at the other store, and I promise you, he won't work with you again." She told me to take the night off. I went home, but I couldn't relax. My skin itched with dread, like I was waiting for something to happen. The next day I came back to work. My manager pulled me aside. "He didn't take it well," she whispered. When I told him he had to transfer, he quit. Relief washed over me. Relief, but also unease. People like him don't just disappear. And I was right. He came back. Not as an employee, not even as a regular customer, but he came back. A few times I'd catch sight of him in the dining room, sitting quietly, watching me. Other times, I'd look up from the register and see him outside the glass, standing at the edge of the parking lot, half hidden in the shadows. Once, I swore I saw him following me on my walk home, his figure just visible a block behind me. I told my husband. After that, he started sitting in the dining room during my shifts, glaring at the man whenever he appeared. It seemed to work. Eventually, the visits stopped. I told myself it was over, but deep down, I knew better. Months passed. I let myself relax. I convinced myself I was paranoid, that he'd gotten bored, and moved on. Then one night, after a brutal closing shift, I walked home alone. My husband had stayed with the kids. The streets were empty, the air damp with mist. Halfway home, I heard footsteps behind me. Slow, steady. I didn't turn around at first. My pulse quickened. I tried to tell myself it was nothing, just another night walker, just coincidence. Then I heard it, soft, almost like a whisper, carried on the fog. I just wanted to see you. I spun around. No one was there. But the footsteps, they didn't stop. That's when the dreams began. I'd wake in the middle of the night to the sound of the front door creaking open, only to find the house silent and locked tight. I'd dream of the Taco Bell dining room, empty and dark, with him standing in the middle, smiling. His eyes black voids. Sometimes, I'd dream my kids were crying in the night, and when I went to their room, I'd find him standing over their cribs, whispering lullabies in a language I didn't understand. I'd wake up drenched in sweat, sometimes screaming, sometimes too paralyzed to even move. My husband said I was just traumatized, that my brain was making monsters out of shadows. But then the knocks started. The knocks, always at night, always between 2 and 3 a.m. 3 knocks, slow, hollow. We had a peephole. Every time I looked, no one was there. But once, just once, I looked and saw him. His face was inches from the glass, staring directly at me, smiling. When I screamed for my husband and he came running, the porch was empty. The last time I saw him was at work. I had been promoted to assistant manager by then, and I was closing one night with a new crew. Around 1 a.m., after the dining room was locked, I went to check the lobby, and there he was, standing in the middle of the dining room. The doors were locked, no alarms had gone off. He was just there. I froze. My breath caught in my throat. He tilted his head, smile widening. "You left me," he whispered, "but I never left you." I blinked, and he was gone. The dining room was empty. Now, it's been years since then. I don't work at Taco Bell anymore. My kids are older. My husband says I need therapy, that it was just stress, paranoia, hallucinations, but I know the truth. He's still out there. Sometimes, when I'm alone, I catch sight of him in reflections, standing just behind me in the glass of a window, in the blank screen of a turned-off TV. Sometimes, when I tuck my kids into bed, I hear humming, low, tuneless, coming from the dark corners of their room. And sometimes, on the nights when sleep won't come and the house feels too quiet, I hear it again. 3 knocks, slow, hollow, patient. He's still waiting for me. And one day, I think he's going to stop waiting.